loose clothing, not wearing the safety glasses, oil or grease on the floor. Anything that seems minor can develop into a major thing in a split second.
If you could just stay on one thing, if you're just doing one thing, it'd be less likely to have accidents, but that's not the real world. The real world is the phone is ringing, there's customers coming in. You're kind of like in the middle of a job and you have to stop. So what you have to do is you have to work safely through the job in case you are pulled off the job.
I can supply you with the equipment and everything and the knowledge that I have, but I can't make you do it. Unfortunately, if you choose not to do it, you get hurt.
Working safely in the automotive shop. General safety practices and procedures. Safety practices are an essential part of working in an automotive shop. The shop is a very dangerous place, and as an automotive technician, you must handle hazardous wastes and operate tools and machinery carefully and responsibly. In the following program, you'll be introduced to safety procedures concerning physical safety, proper operating procedures with various machinery and tools, and the hazards of chemicals handled in the automotive shop.
When performing any work in the automotive shop, safety glasses must be worn at all times and should be put on as soon as you step onto the shop floor. Many eye injuries occur to auto technicians who aren't wearing safety glasses while other jobs are taking place. Anyone in the area without safety glasses is at risk.
Working on fabricating a part for a car using a grinder, happened to turn my head to the side to look at something while I was grinding. The glasses that I had on had no side protection. As I turned my head and the grinder sort of bound up, a piece of metal went right through the side of the glasses and into my eye.
I think the safety glasses should be worn at all times in the shop because there's always something going on in the shop, whether you're spraying carburetor cleaner or you're welding or cutting.
I was working on an exhaust system, and we generally cut off the old system with an acetylene torch. And I had my safety glasses on. Safety is utmost importance. Had my safety glasses on, and I did the burn that I needed to do. And it was a hot summer day. My glasses fogged up, and for a split second when I put the torch down, I removed my glasses and looked up at the job, which I shouldn't have done. And I know that now because I had to go to the hospital and get my eye drilled in 4 different locations to get the rust out of the eye.
Proper clothing is another important component of personal safety. Clothing should be kept clean and fitted, promoting a professional image at all times. Coveralls or uniforms are the best clothing for automotive work. All cuffs and sleeves should be hemmed properly. Clothing that's too long can get caught in machinery, resulting in injury.
Footwear is also important. It's not necessary for shoes to be steel-tipped, but they should be hard leather in case of accidents. The sole should be constructed of an oil-resistant, non-skid material, such as neoprene. Sneakers, a very popular choice in daily footwear, aren't a good option in the auto shop. They offer no protection from falling tools or machinery and should never be worn. If wearing any jewelry, it should always be removed when working in the shop. Rings made of gold or silver are good conductors of electricity and take only a matter of seconds to heat to a glowing red, possibly melting and causing severe burns. Be sure to remove all necklaces, rings, and watches. Loose hair can get caught on anything spinning and should be kept tied back or protected under a cap.
When lifting parts and tools in the shop, it's important to know how to lift correctly to prevent injuries. To lift heavy items, you should avoid bending over. Instead, squat. Squatting uses the thigh muscles, which are much larger than the lower back muscles. Remember, back injuries are one of the leading causes of lost work time. If any item is heavy, get someone to assist you by using a dolly or other useful equipment.
Now that you've learned about proper dress and the importance of lifting correctly, let's talk about the importance of keeping the shop clean and well organized.
The The importance of a clean shop, besides it being easier to work and more efficient, it's a lot safer.
A clean shop is a very productive shop. When you have a mess in the shop and you have to walk over a million things to get from point A to point B is not very productive and not very safe.
Well, a clean shop, I mean, it gives a better impression on people, they come back more. What people don't understand is the dirtier a shop is, the more chance of an accident.
When you have clutter in a shop, I mean, yeah, there's chances of tripping, falling, and if a customer should come in the shop, which they do, you got the potential of a customer getting hurt.
My point is, I want my employees to follow in my footsteps.
Equipment and tools should be kept clean and arranged in a neat, efficient, and orderly manner. Fire extinguishers, panic buttons, eye wash stands, and first aid box locations should be properly labeled, visible, and memorized. Exits should be marked and kept clear. And there should be no smoking permitted anywhere in the shop due to hazardous materials and fumes. Floors should be kept clean, wiping up any spills immediately and sweeping on a daily basis. Clean periodically with a biodegradable detergent.
When cleaning up spills, it's important to know what the spill is so shop wipers and cleaning materials can be disposed of properly. If a service has been contracted to launder used wipers, you'll need to store them in a special fireproof container prior to pickup from the service. If the wipers are piled aimlessly, they can become a fire hazard. Once the spill has been thoroughly cleaned up, toss the wipers into the proper container. Frequency and quantity of pickup by the service will depend on how often wipers are used for cleanup. Look for disposal and removal procedures in the shop or call your local or state municipality for proper handling.
Now that the shop is organized, let's move on to proper care and use of tools and equipment. It's important to always keep tools and equipment clean and in proper working order. Screwdrivers, punches, and chisels should be kept dressed. This means the tips should be kept in their original shape at all times. To do this, place the tool securely in the vise and, grasping the hand file, start to dress it. Workbenches or portable roll carts used by technicians should be kept clean and orderly for safety, efficiency, and appearance. Make sure wheels are fastened securely and are kept lubricated for easy mobility. If there's a safety lock to keep the cart in position, be sure it's in working order.
Floor jacks and jack stands are used almost daily in the automotive shop. Before using the jacks, be sure they are secure by looking them over and checking for any loose wheels or rusted metal. When preparing to raise the car, place the floor jack under a frame member. After jacking the car to the desired height, place a jack stand under the car for added support. Lower the car by turning the handle, allowing the car to rest on the jack stand. Once the jack stand is in position, be sure the car is resting securely before proceeding. Once the car has been raised, you'll be ready to start working. If using a creeper, first check the wheels to be sure they are securely fastened. Once secure, place the creeper on the floor. Get on it and use it to glide yourself underneath the car. When not in use, stand the creeper in the upright position to avoid tripping.
Compressed air is another frequently used component of the automotive shop. Air pressure is regulated at 90 pounds per square inch by OSHA standards. Care must be taken when handling any tool that uses compressed air. For example, whenever using blowguns, they should always be OSHA approved. Never contact your skin directly with the blowgun. This will induce air bubbles into the bloodstream, which can be fatal. Don't point the gun in anyone's direction. Debris is usually left in the air lines and can be shot out of the blowgun. Safety glasses must always be worn.
Possibly one of the most helpful inventions in automotive service is the lift. Before using, check the pads on the lift arms to be sure they're in good working order. Periodically check cables and pulleys for wear. If using hydraulic in-ground lifts, check whether the lift rises or falls, signifying a leak. If there is a leak, don't use the lift until an expert in hoist repair has a chance to fix it.
Which is a real no-no, is to stick a chisel in the lift handle to let the car down while you go and do something else. You're supposed to be there with the car to watch it. And I had stuck the chisel in the lift because I had still other things to do on the car, and I started working on the car before it had hit the ground. And I caught my feet under the tire, and I was stuck there until I could motion somebody and scream and yell at them to come in and put the car back up in the air.
A friend of mine happened to be working on an old-fashioned ride-on lift, and a ride-on lift is a lift that has two ramps that you just ride the car on top of. Put the car up in the air and happened to be working on axles and had to roll the car forward and backwards and actually put too much weight on the front of the lift, and the lift snapped and fell to the side and pinned him against the wall and crushed both of his legs as it came down.
You work with something every day and you kind of like lose the respect that it can hurt you. So just like setting a car on a lift, you know, you do 30 cars a day and you don't think anything of it, but you know, a car could fall off the lift.
Once the lift has been checked and is in proper working condition, set the arms of the lift under the car. They should be set according to manufacturer's specifications, usually on the frame rails or the body seam molding. When placing the arm under the car, be sure to secure the safety lock on the arm. Now, begin to raise the car about 6 inches off the ground. When in position, give the car a good shake at the front or rear bumper. If the car withstands the shake, it is safe to proceed. As the car is raised, note that the safety lock on the lift will click into a new position. Before you begin working, check the lift arms again when the car is in the air and make sure the lift safety is on. When working on the car while it's in the air, extra precautionary measures will need to be taken to assure safety. When raising the car with the hood or trunk open, make sure the car doesn't collide with the ceiling. When lowering the car, remove any toolboxes, utility stands, or other equipment from under the car. Also, make sure the doors are closed to prevent them from catching on toolboxes or workbenches.
Now let's take a look at some of the chemicals used daily in the auto shop. Many of them are hazardous and must be handled properly. Rubber gloves should be worn at all times when handling chemicals. Skin is porous, and oil-based solvents can enter the bloodstream, causing internal damage. When finished working with any chemicals, you should always wash your hands. Solutions can also damage your eyes, causing permanent injury. Always wear safety glasses.
When working with gasoline, remember it's highly flammable and must be stored in approved containers. A safety can should be used with a secure cap if storing for any period of time. If storing indoors, gasoline should be kept inside a ventilated metal cabinet or off the floor away from other hazardous materials. Gasoline is also an irritant and will eventually absorb into the body if not washed off. It contains chemicals such as benzene, a carcinogen, known to be harmful to children as well as adults, so it's important to handle gasoline safely.
Many propellants used in spray cans are flammable. Never spray them around any heat source, since the flame could back up into the can and explode. Check all labels for warnings and guidelines. Chemicals can also do damage to an automobile, so be sure to use fender covers for protection whenever needed. When finished working for the day, be sure to change your clothing. Wearing work clothes home could transfer potentially dangerous chemicals to your home and loved ones. Now let's review some key points in this program. Wearing proper safety protection and practicing proper work procedures are essential in promoting good safety habits and a professional image.
All tools and equipment should be kept clean and in proper working order.
Check with the automotive shop and your local or state municipality for laws governing the use and disposal of hazardous substances.
Remember, using the proper safety equipment and procedures will establish the auto shop as a professional service, will protect you from harm, and keep the environment safer for future generations.